The Celtic Unrestricted View is sponsored by AB Entertainment. It's a DJ and entertainment business. And we are also partnered by MCM Framing Services and Hoops Memorabilia. Both our sponsor and our partner are on social media and can be found on Facebook or Instagram. So feel free, guys, to check them out as they offer fantastic services, and enjoy the upcoming episode. Hail, hail.
Yes, and we're back. Welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. My name is Ryan Clifford, and joining me in this episode on this Friday evening is Mr. Alan Sterling. Alan, how are you? Celtic are back. None of that international stuff that we've been seeing recently with Scotland that puts us in a bit of a downer. Obviously, after the Derby game, mate, we're back up to a high dosage, and then what's Scotland, and we're back down to a low dosage. So how are you, mate? And are you looking forward to the game? And hope you have a good weekend as well, mate, coming up.
Very well, thank you. Hope you're well. Hope everyone that's watching's well. Yeah, very good, Dan. Looking forward to tomorrow's game, obviously. I know you've mentioned Scotland, so it'll be nice to see a game, probably without mistakes with Grant Hanley or possibly Tony Ralston. So it'll be nice to have our beloved club back playing football, and hopefully we can resume where we stopped from, playing very, very good football and exciting football, and a maximum of 3 points hopefully tomorrow, and kick on.
Yeah, 100%, mate. I think, like you mentioned there, Scotland, there was a few mistakes, so hopefully that's not the case tomorrow, and we get a good performance and 3 points. We'll just get to some of the commenters, Aaron, before we go into the episodes. Kaiser, hail, hail, legends. Hail, hail, mate. Hope you're all right. Plunge, hail, hail again. Hail, hail, mate. Hope you're well. Jerry Burns, even Alan, Ryan, and fellow Celts. Hail, 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 Jerry. And even Ryan and Alan and chat. White solid tonight. Just a few things later on in the evening, Ange, when it yourself. So we still got to do the episode and get it through. So we're back at 8:30 on Monday, as usual time on Monday. Factual again, Ange, who's a snitch. Gentlemen, hail, 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 hail. Hope you're very well. Can you put it up, John? Come on. You're legends. But John, the partner, says, good evening. He's talking to Snitch. And yes, that's us, Alan. Obviously, into the episode, Alan, tonight. Looking forward to get back to talk about Celtic, Alan. That's the main thing. Scotland, yes, we're Scotland fans, but this is where I think between the now and the end of the year, I think the games are pretty weekly. Or 2 or 3 games a week, roughly. Obviously, as well, if you're in the cups, obviously we're playing Fall Cup in a few days' time as well next week. So it'll be good to kickstart the kind of busy period with a good performance tomorrow, and most importantly, the 3 points.
Yeah, obviously the Champions League starting next Wednesday coming, so that'll be exciting as well. But we're coming into that part of the year that there is going to be kind of, most weeks will be 2 games a week. So yeah, very exciting. It's always nice to have Celtic, kind of watch Celtic, whether that be kind of home or away, Champions League, League Cup, or the league that we so often kind of do relatively well in, be winning kind of the trophy every year. So yeah, it's brilliant to have Celtic back. I think tomorrow should be pretty comfortable. I know Hearts have been in a kind of terrible run as of late. They have got probably better players and their form showing at present, but they're sitting 11th, second bottom of the league just now, and they've only got one solitary point from the first 4 games. So, so it should be a game that we should win, and it should be comfortable if we can play the same level of football we've been playing for the last number of weeks, and I'm really excited about watching it tomorrow.
And obviously you mentioned Hearts' form hasn't been great since their draw at the start of the season against obviously the team across the water, which actually looked quite decent Hearts, and they probably could have won the game. But ever since then, their form has really dipped a wee bit. They've not really showed, in terms of the recruitment, I would say the recruitment was pretty decent in terms of some of the guys I've signed. There was a lot of expectation that there was even talk about them trying to challenge Celtic and them across the water and try to even finish second. They've not had a great start, so for them to even challenge anything in the top 2, they'll need to try and do it very, very quick. But I think we all know, Alan, that by the way we've started the season, I think no matter what teams turn up, it's really down to what we do. If we don't play to our maximum, then there might be a possibility, Aaron, that Hearts might, if they turn up and put a performance in, they could get a result. But I think it's all about what we do, Aaron. I don't think it's anything really what Hearts do. I think because we know how they're going to play, they'll probably try and counter-attack us when they can. They'll put the ball, put the bus in the back when need be. But I think the way we are playing, Aaron, I think it's very hard to play against it. I think because you don't know how we're going to play, because we've seen it in a derby game. We kind of let them just have the ball. Yeah. On you go, have it. And then obviously you've got Clement talking about possession, and the possession's in their half. You can't score in your own half. So Celtic have let them do that, and then when you win the ball, I think that's what. Don't you feel on this, Alan? That's probably a major point I would put to Croce to start off with the night. Is I think for me, I've noticed a bit more ruthlessness in terms of when we lose the ball. Sorry, when the other team loses the ball when they make a mistake, we're bang at it. We're right on it, and we then go start an attack. Last season, early starts of the season, we weren't at that. I think now, as soon as we lose it, you're thinking, right, go and get a goal, because we're right on the attack, on the kind of football way that we want to do. And I think when we're like that, Aaron, it's going to be very hard for Hearts to defend against that tomorrow.
Yeah, we're in a great vein of form. Our performances have been very exciting, very fast-flowing football. I just think that the international break might have came at the wrong time, because we were kind of game after game after game, we were producing the kind of performances. So let's hope we can kind of pick up where we left off from, and continue the kind of performances. It will be interesting to see what kind of team lineup comes out tomorrow. Obviously, all the guys that were signed in the last couple of days in the transfer window haven't started a game yet, so it's going to be interesting to see how the lineup is tomorrow. But I'm sure whatever the lineup may be, I think we're more than capable, as you say. If we play anywhere near our best, then we're more than capable of kind of securing the 3 points and adding a few goals to that goal difference as well. I'm more than aware that Hearts are probably capable of more than what they've been doing. I think kind of Dyson Maida is going to be disappointed that he's not up against James Tavernier this weekend. That right back that we seen that first game that Hearts just brought in, he looked a bit decent in that first half. So it will be interesting, but I think, as you say, if Celtic play to the best of their ability, then I can only see one outcome, and I think that's 3 points and probably a few goal deficit in the game tomorrow.
And our good man JP's away in his annual leave, Aaron. He said he's in the airport. I think he's always probably sitting with about 5 pints. So, no, fair play, JP. You've earned a wee bit, mate. Me and Alan's been away, mate. So it's your time to enjoy yourself. So, have a good time, mate, and bring some of the sun back, mate, because it's starting to get a bit overcast here. So, Aaron, obviously we've had our break, so it's time for JP, and he's a good lady to go and get some time away and relax and and they'll think about us two for a wee change.
Aye, indeed. Aye, JP. Hope he has a cracker, him and the missus. So aye, we've had a wee jaunt over to Tenerife, and I'm sure I'll be gone sometime soon as well. So JP, I hope you have a cracker, mate, and I'm sure the two daddies will go on all right with you, mate.
Two daddies indeed, mate. A good comment from John. With Cal shut in Scotland, hopefully he will get even better. Getting obviously more rest throughout the season with the ever increasing international games. Put that to yourself, Aaron.
Yeah, definitely, especially with the introduction of what you've seen, the what's it called again? The ones we're playing there. What's the competition called again?
What's that?
What's the games that Scotland played there? The competition?
The Nations League.
Nations League, that's the one. I was going to say the Europa League. Scotland still going to win that anyway. But the Nations League, so that's kind of replaced some of the friendlies, and sometimes that we wouldn't play friendlies and you wouldn't have as much game time, but these games are kind of coming a lot throughout the season, so it's beneficial for Celtic.
That's right, John. That's right, John.
What call you, John? Don't
Who
start
you?
that, son.
Who you? Alan, you Barry or Paul? What are you?
I've got to be Paul. I'm a big one, aren't I? So what was I say? We're definitely benefiting from the fact that Callum McGregor's retired for international football. That means that he's got time to kind of recuperate during these the international breaks. Gets time to have a rest, whether that be kind of spending time with his family or going somewhere and just getting a bit of downtime. So then he's back kind of fresh, and there's no kind of immediate worries of any injuries as well with regards to our captain. So sometimes when they get away in breaks with the international team, that sometimes they can come back. You've seen got the rumours floating about with Alistair Johnston, so that always kind of gives you a wee scare when they get away with the international team that we're going to come back and have a few injuries. And thankfully, Callum McGregor's not in that situation anymore, so we can most of the time kind of rely that he's going to be there, fit and healthy, and raring to go. So it's massively beneficial, as John says, for Callum just to be concentrating on the club game and domestic football. So yeah, massive for Celtic, and hopefully that could get another kind of couple of years of great football out of Callum McGregor with him kind of stepping back for that international scene.
And obviously, John mentioned there about McGregor playing a lot of games. He's played. There's a man himself there holding the league trophy, as we've seen for a long period of time under his tenureship as captaincy, and obviously playing in very, very good Celtic teams, Alan. Tony. I think in terms of what John said there, Alan, that's to you, this is to me, one of the Ravens, you know what I mean? We've chuckleballers here. I do think McGregor's a top player. I've said it for so long that I think if he wasn't a Celtic, well, he kind of is a Celtic man. He's came through the academy and stuff, and I think if he didn't come through the academy and be as long as he was before he got the captaincy and before maybe Rodgers came back, I know there was talk about him going to Leicester when Rodgers went to Leicester. I think if he wasn't kind of brought up in Celtic's academy, I think he may have went. I think, but again, it just shows you sometimes, Alan, some players understand what they have here. They're winning trophies, playing in Europe, maybe not in the best of leagues, but you're playing in front of these fans, and it's a full package. And sometimes some players don't want to go and get the mega money because they know they'll get the money here. They'll get basically lauded after the fans. You'll get absolutely, you're a legend. Team McGregor's he's a legend already, and he will be even more as the years go on. So I think he knows there's some players that kind of maybe he's got the right people about him as well. He seems a very intelligent guy. He seems very articulate. He knows obviously he'll know what's best for him, and he obviously feels staying at Celtic for possibly the rest of his career will be beneficial for him, and it will be to what he wants to get out of football, and obviously no playing with Scotland. My opinion is, again, I don't know Callum, I'm just thinking between the lines that I think either he sees that there might not be any more progression with Scotland, or it is generally down to want to make his Celtic career better. I'm kind of on the latter. I do feel that he's kind of like, I've done enough for Scotland. I've done Euros. Do I really need to put my body through more games and maybe injuries, and maybe I just want to go right. I'm done with international football. I don't see maybe progress with the national team. I want to stay with Celtic, try and get better in Europe, try and help this team go with a manager, and can I just basically make this club even better? But that's just my opinion, mate. I don't know any information. That's just what I think of the situation with Callum not playing with Scotland anymore.
Yeah, I think when you spoke about Callum's been with Celtic throughout his whole career, apart from a loan spell away at kind of MK Dons, wasn't it? So it's very. I know we've got James Forrest, but it's very few and far between that we get players in modern day football that stay with a certain club for their entire career. With the way that modern day football is just now, kind of money talks, and if somebody's performing to the level that Callum has over the last few years, then you would expect a kind of a club from maybe the Premier League, or whether that be Serie A or Bundesliga, to come in and kind of money talks, try and snap up your kind of valuable assets that we've got at the club. I've seen that in the recent past. With obviously Matt O'Reilly as well. So yeah, it's a great thing, but it's few and far between that players will stay with the club throughout their entire career. And I think when you look at his Scotland career, he's been absolutely fantastic. But it's probably the wee think over the summer. He's probably thought to himself that I could maybe play more top football for maybe enhance his playing career for another year or two at the top level by taking himself away from the international situation. So he's obviously come up with that decision that he wants to kind of prolong his career at Celtic, and for us that's a great thing. And obviously we're Scotland fans as well, but it's Celtic first, and if this is going to benefit Celtic, then I'm all on board. I'm kind of on board retiring for Scotland to make sure that he has a better career and enhances his career, prolongs his career with Glasgow Celtic.
Here's a one as well. Maybe Alan, it might be a bit premature to chat about it, but maybe we've done it a bit late with Scott Brown, and I know how hard it is to replace these guys. You probably won't replace them in terms of the leadership, in terms of some of the quality and the things you do in the dressing room, and kind of what they are to the fans. But when, or maybe they already have a kind of replacement in Arne Engels, who knows? But when does a club start to? I know he's only 31, maybe 32, maybe I don't know when his birthday is, but I think he's 31 roughly. When does a club start to kind of get the radars out of think about when do you get somebody in to maybe potentially replace him or come in to build up to then step into that role? Is that something that what McKibben's going to do? Is it something that Arne Engels is going to? I'm just trying to think when do you start build towards not easing him out the team? I'm not saying that because we all know the reason why Scott Brown played probably the season that he left was because we needed that season. We didn't really have much. We weren't really doing well. You need your captain in there, and it could have turned at any point. We could have got better at any point. Brown could have got better at any point. I don't think Brown was bad. He was just mismanaged due to the workload. He had to play because we didn't really have much. Sorrow wasn't really up to much. Turnbull was in and out of the team. We didn't really have much under with Brown and McGregor. Christie was in there again as well, but we didn't really have much in there. So Brown had to play longer or more than maybe he should have. And I think if it was a normal season, it would have been managed a bit more and probably a bit fresher. Yeah. Maybe it's a bit premature to talk about it, but when do you think as a club, do you start going, do you wait till he's 33? Do you wait till he's come up to fit? When do you think they start going, right, he's going to eventually, I'm saying that, he might be 36 and still be amazing. Who knows? But when do you start thinking about, right, when do you start building towards helping them or get somebody to come in, develop, and then maybe come in and take over that mantle?
I think we're a fair bit away from that. Yeah, I can see Callum still being playing at the level he's playing at just now for the next kind of 5 years, 4 or 5 years minimum, I'd say. I think so. Is Luke McCown a replacement? I very much doubt so, and that's not because of his ability, but I think there's only 3 or 4 years that separate kind of Luke McCown and Callum McGregor. So if you're going to bring in a long-term replacement for Callum McGregor, that's going to, you would hope that would be with Celtic for a long period of time. You would think he's going to be a younger guy than what Luke McCown might be, kind of 31, 32 when Callum McGregor decides to kind of maybe hang up his boots. So ideally, we'd like to see the likes of somebody like Callum McGregor or James Forrest come through the youth system. And I think it's fair to ask that as well, because we're putting in enough money into the youth system.
Yeah.
We're bringing these players through. We're investing heavily in it. You look at the Battlefield investment as well. So I think we've got another kind of 4 or 5 years before we need to think about that situation. But ideally, if you're bringing through somebody like that, you want a youngster coming through. Maybe spend a wee bit of time with Callum McGregor for maybe the last year or two, picking up a few kind of tips and what have you. But I think with the thing with like guys like Arnie Engels, right, they've signed a 4-year deal. If they're as good as what they show, they're not going to have any ties to Celtic. They're not going to feel at the drop of a hat they would move to for more money or kind of a bigger league or such have you. You've seen the likes with kind of Matt O'Reilly. So I think we could rely on the likes of a player that we're bringing in, like Arnie Engels, to stay up for a long period of time and become kind of a club captain. So you'd probably be looking for either somebody you're picking up that's Scottish within the league or somebody that's coming through the youth system, because I think you've seen throughout the last 2 captains that we've had, in Scott Brown and Callum McGregor, I think it's massively beneficial for these guys to know what it takes to play for Celtic, what's involved in the league, what's involved in the club as a whole, basically, and showing the new guys around and telling them exactly what's expected of them. So my ideal situation would be to bring somebody through the youth system, and hopefully they get to the level that Callum McGregor and Scott Brown's shown in recent history.
A wee comment from Paul. Back to business, lads. Is AJ fit? Well, he trained today, Paul, so we know he's fit to play in terms of starting, but I think he trained today, and I think the full squad is relatively in full strength. He didn't mention about Vickers not playing in it, and I've not heard anything. I don't know if Vickers is trained, but there was no. I've not seen anything about Vickers being injured or Johnson being no fit. I've not seen that. So if anybody has seen that, then please let me know. But I've not seen anything about Vickers not being fit or AJ not being able for selection. So according to the manager, I think AJ trained. So whether that's trained to be able to start or on the bench, who knows? But according to the manager, trained today. So there was also a comment, Alan, I'll get back to in a wee minute. But on AJ, Alan, that's what it was there. It was from John Mullaney, a partner of the podcast. Question for you and Alan Ryan: do you think Alistair Johnston is going to be a £20 million now to talk about Engels or Bernardo? For me, John, it's quite a good question, mate, because he's obviously playing at a very good level with Celtic. He's playing obviously with Canada regularly as well, in big competitions, Copa America. He's played in World Cup, so he's got a good pedigree. He's got good experience. I think it would take a wee bit of money to get him away, because he has still 3.5 years left in his deal. So if somebody was to come in January or next summer, then you wouldn't need to spend a bit of money. Don't know about 20 million, John. Again, I don't know, mate. I really don't know. That's down to obviously the money men now to deal with that, and the board for whoever was to go from. But for me, Alan, I do think he's a very good player. I've seen small bits on Twitter, people saying that he could potentially be the best right back we've had in a long time. For me, I still think Lustig would still be ahead of him, just because of how long he was here, the experience he got playing here as well with Celtic, and obviously playing at a high level with Sweden as well. Maybe Lustig for me still was got the edge over him, Aaron. So I think Lustig was all round attacking and defending. Johnson's getting a bit better now going forward. He's getting to the byline now. He's getting balls in the box. If it continues like that the rest of the rest of this year at Celtic, then I could potentially say yes, he probably could be the best right back we've had in a long time at Celtic. But for me, I think Lustig just kind of maybe edges it, Alan. But on that, what John says, what's your thoughts on that?
I can't see. I think any players that we're going to sell, or any club in Scotland's going to sell for that kind of 20, 25, 30 million, they need to be in a certain age bracket. I think Alistair Johnston, what is he, 26? Is he? Sure, he's roughly.
He's not old, Alan. He's not old.
I thought he was maybe 26. I'm sure he joined us when he was like 24, maybe. I might be wrong. But when you're going into that kind of age group, you can't demand that kind of top level fees. I think it's unrealistic for us to, no matter how good he's playing, you've seen how good Juranovic was, and because he was kind of 27, 28, we only managed to get, I think it was like 8 million or so. And it's all about the age, it's all about the kind of sell on that the clubs look for. So for the likes of Matt O'Reilly's left when he's kind of 22. So Brighton, and if he excels down there and really puts a show on, you're looking at Brighton in a year or two could maybe double their money, etc. if he kind of lives up to the expectations that we've seen recently. So for me, I think if you were selling kind of Alistair Johnston, I think the highest we would probably be able to kind of bring in would be maybe somewhere 10, 12, 13 million, I would think. But I'm not interested in the money. I'd rather keep him at Celtic and keep him in my right back position, because at the minute he's shown what a good player he is, and he's an integral part of our squad and our team. And I think you see the fight in him as well. I think he's got a bit of leadership within him as well. So he's a very, very important part of our side. And for me, I wouldn't be looking to sell him for any fee.
Big comment there from Francis. I know he wasn't well recently. France, hope you're getting better, mate. Back to full fitness. And hopefully 3 points tomorrow will help you feel better as well, Francis. So good to see you back on, mate. And I hope you're well. Had a good weekend as well, mate. A comment, Alan, from Big Rab. Guys, with all the contract talks, it's worrying that the best left back in Scotland for the last 5 years now out of contract. Next season, over 8 million of left backs haven't placed Taylor in the team. Aye, Rab, is in terms of Taylor, that is a good point. We have spent, I think it was roughly about 8 to 10 million. Bernabeu was, I think, 3.5. Ball and Goalie was the same. So we've spent a wee bit of money. I can't remember, there was another left back as well we signed as well. He wasn't up too much. There was somebody else, Alan.
Laxalt.
Laxalt. There was somebody else, I'm sure. Somebody else we've signed for decent money, I'm sure. I'm sure it's 3 left backs we've signed to try and replace him. Or even with Tierney. So, no, that's quite a good point for that there. Again, I think Greg Taylor's very good domestically. But I know we've not seen it this season, but I still feel when you go up to play teams in Europe, Aaron, that, again, I'm not going to sit here and kind of criticise guys, because, especially for last Sunday, where the Derby game, Liam Scales was tremendous. See if Liam Scales keeps that up for the majority of the season, then I will go, do you know what, fair play. The guy's obviously improved tenfold, and he's going to be immensely under this manager. If he keeps doing the performances, Alan, I have no qualms about Liam Scales playing, if that's what he keeps doing. But again, don't want to be too critical in terms of nitpicking. The first 10 minutes or so, they silly wee passes he does, if that's in Europe, you're going to probably get punished, i.e. Dortmund and Atlanta. And that's my worry. I said it all last season. There's moments that people are going to go, why, but he does this well, does well. But you don't always get praise for doing your job. As a centre-back, you're meant to tackle and header. That's your job. But when you do silly passes and you do things that are going to maybe against better quality, you get punished. And that's what I want to cut out. That's what I want, is to know listen, we all make mistakes, it happens, but sometimes it happens too much. But for me, Alan, on Taylor domestically, I get what Rab's saying. I think he deserves a new deal in terms of what he's done for us. Again, it all depends what he feels. Does he want to go away abroad? Does he want to go somewhere else? Or does he want to stay here and continue to try and be the left back here full time? For me, domestically, I'm happy with Greg Taylor, but I still feel in Europe, I think that's, again, I could be absolutely wrong, Alan, but for me, this is why the boy for Barcelona was in. He's been brought in to play in Europe. I may be wrong, But Celtic are not going to pay this guy 24, 25 grand a week to literally just sit on the bench at Barcelona, because he can do it for Barcelona. He can sit on Barcelona's bench or sit on their reserve bench. So again, he's maybe come here for cover for Greg Taylor, but I do feel eventually this guy will get game time. Might be next Sunday against Falkirk to see how he is, but I don't feel this guy's coming out just to no play. He will get game time due to the amount of games we're playing. But I do get what Rab's saying, and I do agree with him. He does have a new contract. For Scotland, Alan, I am fine with Greg Taylor in Scotland. I think this format will maybe see how, if he's improved in Europe, if he's get more streetwise, if the experience is going to help him. But it's just my opinion. That left side still with Taylor and Scales for the European side is the part of me that I just think just be steady, be good, because for me that's still the kind of bit that's the weak point in the team in Europe. Is that too harsh to say?
I wouldn't say it's too harsh. I think when you're coming up against a higher level opposition, the likes kind of Greg Taylor and Liam Scales up. I wouldn't say as much Greg Taylor. I think Greg Taylor does a decent job for you, especially, well, domestically, I think he does a great job. Liam Scales, when you look at how comfortable he is on the ball, when you come up against a higher calibre of player, I think you're right, he probably will get punished because you don't get that time in the ball that maybe we got last week against in the derby. I think when you're on the ball like that, I think you tend to get punished with a higher level opposition. So I think that's probably why we went out and spent kind of $6 million on another centre half. As much as Liam Scales is doing a fairly decent job, and his performance was very good last week, I don't think we're paying $6 million for a centre half for him to sit on the bench either. I think probably long term, I don't think it will happen immediately, but I think long term you're looking at Carter Vickers and Trusty to be our centre halves going forward. I think when we go back to Taylor, you're looking at his contract as well. He came here for Kilmarnock, so I think maybe some of the problem might be that he's coming in. He came in probably quite a low wage in comparison to some of our other players. So he's probably saying to himself, I'm playing week in, week out. I'm one of the first names on the team sheet. Why should I not be getting paid the same level as some of the higher earners at the club? And I think there'll probably be quite a big gulf in what he's getting just now and what he's looking for. And I think that might be the issue that we're looking at just now. There might be, he's looking for another 15 grand a week maybe. I'd probably say Taylor's on, you're guessing maybe 8-10 grand a week coming from Kilmarnock. And I think he's probably going to be looking at being one of, maybe not the highest earners, but up near that bracket, shall we say, because of the amount of game time that he's getting. So I would definitely try and tie him down to a contract. I think even if we bring in another left back, I think Greg Taylor's very, very good cover. He doesn't let you down a great deal. He might not be the kind of best player to get into a new Champions League campaign with at left back, but he's still a very reliable player, and he's an asset to Celtic as well. So I think it would be foolish to let him run his contract down, even if he wanted away. I think if he wasn't signing a contract, I think you might see the same as we seen with David Turnbull and Ryan Christie, that in January, if he hasn't signed a contract by then, you might see him move on for there might be a lower level of finance that we bring in for him, but I think he will sign a contract the way that kind of Brendan's speaking about it today. I think there will be a suitable contract put forward to him. We could just kind of wait and see what happens, but I think we should try and keep a hold of him no matter what, even if somebody comes in, if the Spanish boy comes in front of him, then you'll still get great backup with Greg Taylor there. I think he's very, very reliable and he'll always do a job for you.
Aye, there's a comment for Chris. 100% agree. Greg Taylor's have a new contract. He's only got competition. He's only now competition for his position. You're probably right, Chris. Obviously, there's been players trying to give competition, i.e. Bernabe and Bolingoli. Bernabe's apparently doing well in Brazil, Argentina he's in. So again, we don't know the level of how good that league is. I don't know much. There's only a few teams for certain countries I know of. I don't watch it every week, so I can't comment. But 9 times out of 10, Alan, I'm very wary of signing players from that side of the world because they don't come here and do very well. The odd player might do well, what we've seen through the past, but they don't really go to Britain and do well a lot of time. You get the odd like Gino and guys like that. The odd guy who does well. We've seen with obviously Fran Juarez from Mexico looked an absolute brilliant signing, and then his career went down the hole. So there's things like that again. For me, I'm a bit of a gamble for that side, but it could turn out good gambles. So again, every signing can be a gamble unless you really know what you're buying. But obviously, they're talking like you say. Obviously, the guy Trusty. Again, Alan. Obviously, I'm the same opinion as you. Engels and Trusty aren't really getting signed to. Obviously, they're getting signed to be in the squad and help the team and come in. Obviously, rotational when a lot of games to be playing, especially when you're playing European games and cup games or league games, Scottish Cup games. You've got a lot of games to play. But I do feel for me, eventually, if these guys are as good as the manager thinks, especially Engels, because for me, Engels isn't getting signed to sit on the bench. Celtic cannot afford to pay £11 million. He's probably getting, again, I don't know, I'm just going to guess here, at least over 25 grand a week, 30 grand a week probably coming for the Bundesliga, playing just about a lot of time in the Bundesliga. He had good experience for his age. He's played for Belgium now, so again, his value is going to get up even more now the more he plays with Celtic in Europe and the more he plays with Belgium as well. So Engels eventually, I think, will play. Even Bernardo, I love Bernardo. I think he's a really good player. But he's got a fight in his hands because this guy's not coming here to sit on the bench because he was playing just about a lot of time with Ulsberg in Germany. And the fact that you can in the Belgium squad now, that tells you, Alan, that he's a top talent. And I don't think the manager will have any hesitation, Alan, to take guys out. If it is Hatate, Bernardo, or whoever it is, I don't think any hesitation. If he feels that guy's going to be better than that guy for that game, then I think he'll play. And I just don't think, Alan, that we can afford. Listen, the guy could come and no hit it off. He might know. Listen, I'm just talking how do you call it? What's that word? What do you call it? I'm not good with words here.
What? Hindsight?
Hindsight, aye. In hindsight, we could look back and go, 11 million, Jesus Christ, that was a lot of money for somebody that didn't play well. But I just don't see it with this boy, Alan. I know he was only on for 15 minutes or so against them across the water, but he looked tidy. He was always asking for the ball. He was always looking behind it. It's just small things that you see for a player that you know's got something. And I think eventually, Alan, he's got to play because we can't pay that money for somebody and at least give him a run of games to then show what he's got. And for that money to be spent on him, Alan, it's a bit pressure on him to go and succeed.
It is. I think I agree with you. I think he will play. He will be one of the first names in the team sheet eventually. But can you really drop any of the midfield three after the last game we played? Can we? I don't know. They played exceptionally well, the midfield three. Callum McGregor's not going to drop out. Paulo Bernardo played exceptionally well. I think he was the best player in the park in the last game. And Real Hatate's got that kind of quality. So I think it's a case of when Engels gets into the team, I think that's when he'll stay in the team. But it's a big decision for Brendan because on one hand, you paid 11 million for record signing for one midfielder, but you've got to caveat that with the fact that we're in a great vein of form just now, and our midfielders are playing exceptionally well. So, would it be unfair to drop one of the midfielders tomorrow? I don't know. So with Brendan, he's seen the players kind of day in, day out. So we need to trust the manager here, and he can make the decision if he feels that Engels is going to bring that much more to the team than the other guys have provided over the last few games. But it's a good headache to have because we've brought in an £11 million player, and the midfielders were playing at present. are playing incredibly well. So it's a great headache to have. Obviously, one of the four's not going to be entirely happy that they're not starting. But for us, as fans, it can only bode well for us going forward and getting results and hopefully continuing this kind of exciting way we're playing at present.
Like you've said there, and also Francis said there, it's a very good problem we've got. It's a good headache for a manager that he can go between certain players, because obviously you've got the game tomorrow, you've got Wednesday, and then you've got Falkirk. So he can rotate the team against Falkirk, not too much because you don't want to show too much disrespect. But you could put McKibben in, or Engels, or other guys. So you've got that type of, in my opinion, it's a brilliant headache to have. You've got, you've seen it against them across the water. All the new signings on the bench. Guys like Palmer and Yang are still here as well, so they could play against Falkirk. They could come in tomorrow, who knows? But there's a lot of options here now for the manager, more than we have recently. That's probably one of the strongest benches we've had in a long time as well.
You want to trust and Valley's
That's what I mean.
Not even kicked a ball yet for Celtic. So that guy for Barcelona and that guy was signed for $6 million.
I'd probably imagine, Alan, that the majority of them might play against Falkirk if they don't play against Bratislava. I will put my hat and my neck on the line, and I do think Engels will play on Wednesday. I think he'll play on Wednesday. I think even if Bernardo plays well tomorrow or Hatate, one of them will drop it personally, because I think that's the games that he's getting bought for that price tag, and I think he's come here to obviously play here in Europe. That's what obviously he feels. Brendan has mentioned before, he mentioned it last year, that Hatate's got to be a bit more consistent. He does give the ball away a wee bit, and especially Europe. We've seen it last year in Europe. He gave the ball away a hell of a lot. And I don't mind it, Aaron. I don't mind guys giving the ball away, trying things. But when it's too much, you're going to end up getting yourself in trouble. And we've seen it. That's Falkirk, Feyenoord last year away from home. We gave the ball away and then they scored. So that's something maybe Hatate's got to... Again, it's hard, Aaron, because if that's his game, like always trying to risk pass and try to get the ball through to Kyogo, if you tell him to cut it out, do you then lose that? Do you know what That's what I mean. So if you tell him to cut it out, is it not going to be as, I don't want to say as risky, but is it not going to be as daring to then go, no, I'll play it through the line, but he might then turn back and then you might not get that attacking pros through him. So what do you think of that? Do you think I'm being a bit too harsh on him, but try to play it risky all the time, or do you think the manager is possibly just wanting a bit more consistent and keep the ball more?
I think, well, you know my opinion on it. I think when it comes down to it, if you're asking me who plays, if it's a simple choice between Paolo Bernardo and Rio Hatate, in overall ability, I think it's Rio Hatate all day long. I think Paolo Bernardo's still got a lot of growth in him. He has played exceptionally well the last few games. There's no denying that. That's the reason why he's kind of kept his place in the team, even with the kind of money spent on new signings. But for me, Rio Hatate, as we've spoken about a number of times, he offers you that something different, that something special, that as you say, that kind of pass through the lines that can cut a team open within kind of nanoseconds. So for me, I think Rio Hatate is a must in the kind of the lineup. When we're producing our kind of strongest lineup, I think Rio Hatate should be in that team. On better form just now. In the last game, I think probably Paolo Bernardo had a better performance than Rio Hatate. But when you look at what the players have got to offer overall as a whole, I would lean towards kind of playing Rio Hatate. And that's not a downside on Paolo Bernardo, but I think he just offers you that's something special, and that kind of game-changing moment, shall we say, that Rio Hatate is capable of, and I think he's just got a touch more technical ability than maybe Paolo Bernardo's got.
That's fair, mate. I agree with you in terms of Hatate. I think what I like about him is it's the fact that I'm critical sometimes, but I like the fact that he plays the passes or he tries it, because I don't think I think Kyogo's better with him playing because he knows each other's game. I think when Maeda, Kyogo and Hatate are in that bit, you see a difference. you seen it when Hatate was injured. With Kyogo didn't get as much service. He didn't get as much joy. He didn't get the passes, and he thrives after the passes down the channel, down the pass to the defender and run. He thrives after that. We see it every week. And his move, for me, Alan, his movement's different, gravy. And you can see it so far. Well, I can anyway. He's not getting frustrated as much this year. He's not going like this, and he's not going back as deep now because he's getting the ball all the time. And that's it's no coincidence, Alan, that the team are playing faster football now, and he's getting into positions more. He's scoring goals as he maybe didn't at the start of last season, and the goal obviously against him across the water. That's just instant quality. That's just phenomenal. Knowing that the goalie's not going to get there, I'll slot it in. And for me, I think Kyogo's seen a big difference for Hatate. Maybe we're a bit better for last year, maybe a bit fresher. Maybe he's fully fit now. But again, I don't really want to compare strikers and stuff, but I do feel that Adamida will need to improve a lot. Again, he's not really played a lot, Adamida, in pre-season. So again, I did say before the national break that Adamida, for me now, will get judged fully from now onwards. Because last year he was a lone player. It's so much easier to manage a lone player as it is coming in as a big money signing and coming in to play as permanent. It's night and day, in my opinion. You can come on loan, you can get a few games, score a few goals, or you can come and not even do well, but you can back to your club and that's it. But now you're here, people I will. If he doesn't do as well or do what I think he should be doing for the money that we've got, then I feel eventually there will be a bit. Come on, big man, you need to do more. I don't think the money matters to the club or the player, but for me, I'm thinking that if he's not doing what he should be doing, then you're going to go, we did pay a bit of money for you. I seen him playing for Ireland. They didn't really get much for Ireland, service-wise, which is understandable. They're not really in a good bit of form now, but for me, the wee man starts every single week. I think he'll start on Wednesday. I think either will start against Falkirk to give him some game time and some minutes. He will come on tomorrow, I think, maybe the last 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever. But I do feel the wee man, in my opinion, is streets ahead. And for Adam to get a lot of game time, once he gets fully fit, he will need to start kind of making an impact, in my opinion, kind of nighting right away, because if he doesn't, then I don't know how he then takes over him. But I think he will get more use for Europe, Aaron, with the away games, i.e. Dortmund, Atlanta, his presence. That's what he's got the advantage of over the wee man. He's physical, he's strong, he's more powerful. He can hold the ball up better in terms of get defenders to back against him. So that's what he brings you. He brings you that. So hopefully, Aaron, that's what he can bring us this season.
Yeah. No, definitely. I agree with you. Just to touch upon a couple of the comments with regards to what I'm saying about Bernardo. It's no downside on Bernardo. I think Bernardo's an exceptional player. It's just that I really like Hatate. So I think Bernardo's got all the potential in the world to be a very, very top player. And as you said before, Ryan, I think he might go on to maybe not anywhere, maybe not at the same level as Matt O'Reilly, but I think if it comes a day that we're going to sell Paulo Bernardo, he's got the potential to reach that size of fee, possibly. So Paulo Bernardo's doing absolutely fantastic just now. I'll Savons, alright. So just to clear that up, but yeah, for me, Kyogo just now starts every game. We did mention at the time, I'm glad that the club kind of put out this kind of money, 9.5 million for a striker and Adamida, 11 million for a midfielder, and then Arnie Engels, 6 million for a centre back. It shows that we are actually spending a wee bit of money, considering the amount of money that's been brought into the club with Matt O'Reilly and the Champions League money. So I'm happy with that, but as you say, that is a massive, massive price tag to be on the heads of somebody like Adamida. So when you bring in a striker in for that kind of money, you're expecting kind of goals galore. You're expecting a massive kind of input for that player to kind of force his cell into that starting 11 and be scored goals for fun if you're spending that kind of output for a striker. So he has got a massive price on his head. He does have to kind of prove that. He scored some important goals last year. but I think he has to improve on some parts of his game and step it up another level for that kind of figure that we've paid for a player. So I would be expecting probably a bit more from Adamida at present, and hopefully he can provide that over the upcoming months, because I think it will be expected of him from the basis the whole of the Celtic support will be expecting big things from Adamida.
Aye, obviously, we spoke to Baz a few weeks ago, and he kind of put a wee one or two things about Admid, and I get it now what he was saying in terms of like the club like Rodgers won't put the pressure on for that price, and that's just what they're paid. He says Admid probably won't have that in his head. He'll just be his normal. He'll just be playing, want to score goals, want to do his normal thing. Is the price won't really matter to him. It won't really matter to the clubs. Some fans might not matter to me. I'm kind of, for me, for £9.5 million, I'm expecting good things. Maybe no, obviously goals are important, but his hold-up play and his strength, his power to link up the play, headers as well. He's a big guy, so I'm expecting a few knock-ins as well. So we've got a solid squad there, and I do think he will be a valuable squad player, and he will be good, I think, in Europe in terms of maybe holding the ball up when you maybe need to, under pressure, say Dortmund or Atlanta or any team in Europe, they're maybe batting you. Casper can put the ball up, you can get a foul.
It's an outlet.
Yes, because we've seen it. What I liked about Jack and Marcus was, and it sticks in my mind, the game it happened. I think we were 2-1 up at the time. I can't remember the time, the score at the time, but he came on against Ferencváros and he was brilliant. The ball came up, he was getting fouls, and I was like, my old man watched the game. That's what we're missing in Europe. We've not got that. We've not got a guy to take the pressure off you, get a foul, and just settle down. And hopefully Adam can be that, because he's got the same kind of bulk. He's strong, he's physical, and that's what I think, Aaron, that he would be good for in Europe. Say you're under pressure, you take the wee man off, you might put him on, he can hold it up, he can barge, he can get fouls. And for me, Aaron, that's priceless. See if you're 1-0 down or 1-0 up, or you're nothing each, and away to Dortmund with 5 minutes to go. Listen, I'll take a point. So if the big man's on, hold it up, get a foul, go and get a corner kick, get a shy, take your time. And I think that's what we need, because we've not got that. With the wee man, I think it's all about chasing, linking up the play, quick, fast. But with Adam, you can hold it up and get the midfield up to then link the play. And you could even get a goal with it. So I think Adam might be used more for that side. That's just my opinion. Don't really think on that, Alan, but I do feel that Adam will be used, especially I think away from home.
I think he will be used. He'll need to be used. If we don't use a player that we're signing for that kind of money, then there'll be a lot of questions asked. There's no doubt about that. But I do get what you're saying about the Champions League. We definitely need somebody that can hold the ball up, that can kind of take the pressure off, whether that be the kind of midfielders or defenders. We need somebody that can break up the play. Yeah, players like that are instrumental if we're going to come up against kind of higher quality sides where we maybe need to frustrate them at times, so that we can get kind of, whether that be a point or 3 points. We need to kind of frustrate these teams, because if we just come down and play football against the likes of Dortmund or Atalanta, if we just kind of try and match up and play them at the end game, 9 times out of 10, you're going to come away with nothing. And we've seen that in the kind of past with the likes of kind of Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, etc. We need to find a way this season that our tactics, formation, the way we set up, etc. We need to find a way that's beneficial for us, kind of gathering points within these games. No matter how we get these points, no matter if it's getting a draw or a win away from home, we need to find a way to pick up these points, because, as I say, I'm kind of fed up finishing bottom of the leagues and getting scalped kind of 6-0 and 5-1, etc. So it's always lovely for the Celtic that we know to play kind of lovely, fast-flowing football. But when we're being realistic, I think we're coming up against a higher quality side. We need to find a way to kind of be successful. We need to find a way to not concede, to maybe snatch a winner or snatch a point for these kind of higher opposition games. And for me, it might be hiding behind the couch watching these kind of games, but at the end up, if we get a point or kind of 3 points off of some of these games, then I'll be massively happy and will not care about how we're playing football in these kind of games.
2 wee questions, Alan, then we'll move on to the rest of the team tomorrow and your opinions on the game tomorrow. John says, again, John, I don't know if it's a bit premature to say this, but Alan, do you think we'll get money back in Adamida?
It's very, very premature. I think it was an overinflated fee that we probably paid for Ida. Do I think he's worth that kind of money at present? I doubt it. Do I think he's got potential to kind of surpass that? Yes. But for me, we need to give him a chance. But Adam has to put in a lot of work here. He has got the potential. We have seen in patches that he can score important goals. He can be a kind of valuable member of our squad and our first 11. So this is the time that we need to see kind of 2 strikers really, like you've seen with Kyogo and Giakoumakis in the last few years. You've seen both of them kind of scoring goals, whether that be one starting, one off the bench. You've seen both of them kind of contributing. So we need to see that for Adamida. And he has to kind of make sure he's working very hard to push Kyogo on further. And if he overturns the form of Kyogo and plays better, then so be it. That's why we've got 2 players kind of competing for that striker position. So it's very premature to have any kind of judgment on Adamida at the minute. I'll kind of sit in the fence in this one, and we'll just see kind of in the next kind of upcoming weeks and months, we'll see how Adamida performs.
I am the same as you, Alan. Like I say, I don't judge Adamida on what he done as a lone player, which was very good. Listen, he came in, it had a massive impact and helped us winning the double. A really massive impact, some important goals. Bernardo as well was included in them as well. So I do feel that it's a bit premature to even question that or even have an opinion just yet on it. Again, it's all about opinions. So if you think you will or won't, then that's fair enough. I've all got an opinion about football. But I do feel that I've said to you, Alan, before, that after an international break, this is where I'll judge him now. When he gets fully fit, now I'll go, right, okay, let's see how he is. So, but as a long season, and it will be a long season, Alan. So, it will get game time, and hopefully the big man can come up trumps and get a few more important goals and help us have a successful season. And the last question, Alan, Nick says it's interesting to see what Brendan Rodgers does in the Champions League. But regarding the left-back situation, lads, I'm guessing he's maybe saying for next Wednesday or the full campaign, Alan, do you think it'll be Greg Taylor or is it Ballet, Vamos, Ballet?
I'm going with a Barcelona boy, right? No, I'm not going with... I think at the minute... I don't see him drop Greg Taylor in a minute. I think some of these players that are coming in, I think it's going to be difficult to pick a first 11 for tomorrow because some of these players that have came in, they are going to need to kind of displace the players that are playing exceptionally well at present. So you're looking at, would I like to see Trusty in instead of Scales? Yes, I would. Has Scales done enough to be dropped? I don't know. I don't really think so. Has Taylor done enough to get dropped for Valley? I'm not so sure. So I think tomorrow's lineup is going to be very interesting because I personally think the majority of tomorrow's starting 11 will be the same for Wednesday. I think if we see Engels tomorrow, I think that'll be the same for Wednesday. Because we're trying to kind of build up a rhythm and try to build up how we're playing. So I don't see him making kind of mega changes tomorrow because we're in a place that we're clicking together. All the players, they're really gelling and really putting in great performances. So it is come 1:45 tomorrow when we see the lineup. It is going to be very, very interesting, and you might see a couple of surprises, or we might see the exact same starting 11 as we seen last week, 2 weeks ago.
Aye, again, I was a big advocate, Alan, for somebody coming in as left back for Europe. I do feel Greg Taylor's been exposed in the last 2 campaigns. Again, where I know he's improved in terms of is he more streetwise now for Europe? Who knows under the manager? I think he will get tested again. I think Scales will get tested. In fact, the full team are going to get tested in this format because It's especially Dortmund and Atlanta. They're the two games that I think will test us really well. In terms of Leipzig again at home as well. Even away, by the way, even away to Dynamo, that's still a hard game because Croatia's a hard place to go and win. It might not be the best of teams, but it's the atmosphere can be ferocious, and I think it'll be cold as well. Probably it'll be quite cold when they go to Croatia. So I'm sure that's December or so. So it'll be quite nippy. For me, I would like to see Ballet, is he called? Is it Ballet, Valle, Spanish Valle? Alex, I'd like to see Alex, the left back. I'll just call him Alex. Just
call him Xander.
Xander, big Xander. I'd like to see him play, Alan, because I think the guy must have something. I know he's as a 20, roughly 21, 20, to still be round about the Barca squad and still in the first team kind of pool. He must have something. I know they'll probably signed him a new deal to potentially sell him in the summer. Who knows? But to still be that age and still kick about that pool, he must have something. And he was at pre-season with him as well. So they obviously think something of him to keep him in the squad. So
we can't even judge it until we see.
No, we can't.
You know what I mean? We can
I can't judge him. I can't judge him.
But we've not seen him for a full game, really. So.
I'd like to see him, Nick, in terms of Europe. I think he even might be used for away games as well, because he is obviously, again, I'm only going by what I've seen from him in the highlights and stuff. He looks a bit quicker than Taylor. He looks a bit sharper that way than Greg Taylor. But Greg Taylor's fit as well. He is up down there, pretty good. He is really fit, Greg. So again, we've got good options there, Alan, in terms of the left back now. And the man's up to the manager and the players to play well and him to decide which best for that game. I think you will see a bit of chop and changing because of the schedule. So I think overall, Alan, it's just good. We've got options now. But on to tomorrow, Alan. What's your predictions and your team lineup?
So team lineup and score prediction.
Is Liam Shaw got on the bench this week, do you think?
Liam Shaw? No, he's busy. He's busy in the hoopy. He's in the hoopy costume. He'll be there.
No, he's in.
You can go get a cuddle off him.
No, he's in Subway with Con, isn't he still?
He'll be somewhere selling Paradise Windfall tickets. So, I'm going to go with Schmeichel and goal. I think Greg Taylor will keep his place at left back. I think Liam Scales will keep his place. I don't think I'd hear myself say that. I wouldn't be shocked if we seen Trusty because of the amount of money, but I think it'll be Carter Vickers, Alistair Johnston, Callum McGregor, Rio Hitati, Arnie Engels, Dyson Maida, Nicholas Kuhn and Kyogo. And I think it'll be a 3-0 victory.
I'm going to go with the same as you, Alan. The exact same team. I think Engels will play. And depending on if Vickers is fully fit or not, then Trusty might play next to Scales. But I don't see him making any changes. I think if there's going to be a lot of changes, it might just be Engels. I think the fact that he played with Belgium, I know, by the way, Bernardo was excellent for Portugal, for what I've seen for the wee snippets and what I've heard. But again, it's just what we think, Alan. I think Engels will play. I think it'll be a good game to start him as well. Celtic Park, full house as well. So he got a wee taste in the derby game. So he'll be ready to go. Even if he doesn't start, I think he'll come on anyway. So we've got a good position now to determine who's going to play as fans. So I think all season now it'll be every Friday, Monday, Wednesday, whenever we're on the Paradise episodes. We'll be chopping and changing because you don't know what the manager's going to do. That's the beauty of it.
So many permutations. And Brendan's seen these players in training. We've not seen a great deal of them, so we can only trust that Brendan's going to pick the best available side to start tomorrow. So, it's difficult. I think if you ask kind of 10 Celtic fans for a lineup tomorrow, I think there'll only be a handful that maybe have the same team. I think there is lots of permutations that we could change with. Maybe Hitati dropping out instead of Bernardo. Maybe Hitati and Bernardo staying in the team. There is the Barcelona left back coming in, Trusty coming in, so even Adam Ida coming in instead of Kyogo. There's loads of permutations, so it is going to be very, very interesting when the start lineup comes out tomorrow. And then we'll see who's been kind of putting in the performances and training, and look forward to watching the game.
Not spot on, mate. And I think it will be 4-0. I think we'll get an early goal, and I think Hearts will just. I think because of the vein of form, and I think because of their mood as it is at the moment, I think if you get an early goal, I think they'll struggle. I hope I'm right that way. But Alan, it's been great to chat to you again, mate. That's Friday night.
Oh,
if you are a fan of the channel and you are watching the content and you do enjoy the content, please like and subscribe and share to your Celtic family. Myself and Aaron, we're on Twitter. JP's on Twitter as well. You can get the Celtic Unrestricted View Twitter page. We're on Facebook as well. We're on TikTok also. And you can also get us on every social media platform we're on. So just give us a wee like and follow as well on that. You'll get all the information. Trafford doors and all. So we'll be back. We're back tomorrow. We're not live, but there's an episode tomorrow that me, Alan, and JP recorded.
Just seen them on the comments just now. Well, man, Webby's on the comments, isn't it?
Is it there?
Aye, I'm
Is
sure
Webby there?
Seen it.
I've no order. He's there. A good man, Mr. Webby Sports Round. Webby, how are you, mate? Hope you're well. If you haven't seen Webby Sports Roundup, please subscribe. Great content, great guy, and he does a lot of hard work for charities and sports in Tenerife. So please tune into Webby's channel. Yes, we will have an episode tomorrow, which is on Webby's channel, but it will be on our channel. It was 15 questions about our club that Webby on Webby Sports Round put to us, myself, JP and Aaron. And we did answer the questions in a bit of depth. It's on for like 50 minutes to an hour. That'll be on tomorrow at 6:30 on the YouTube page. So please enjoy that. Please like, share, and subscribe. Myself and Aaron will be holding the fort as JP's away, enjoying yourself for the weekend. A good earned rest. To you. The Chuckle Ballers will be back Monday at 8:30 for the dial-in. If you do want to phone in, you do want to have your opinions over the game on Saturday or anything else leading up to the European game, then give myself and Aaron a wee message on Twitter or the community page or any social media platform. We'll be very obliged to have you on. But Aaron, have a good weekend, mate. Rest of the chat, everybody who's tuned in this evening, have a good weekend. Hope for a good performance tomorrow. Hail, and take care.
The Celtic Unrestricted View is sponsored by AB Entertainment. It's a DJ and entertainment business, and we are also partnered by MCM Framing Services and Hoops Memorabilia. Both our sponsor and our partner are on social media and can be found on Facebook or Instagram. So feel free, guys, to check them out as they offer fantastic services, and enjoy the upcoming episode. Hail, hail.